The roots of modern-day Pentecostalism go back to the 19th century with a group that came to be known as the so-called Holiness Movement of the Methodists, the 1901 Topeka Revival, and more famously, the 1906 Azusa Street Revival in Los Angeles, California. Now, the Kentucky Revival took place in a place called Bethel Bible College in the city of Topeka, when a woman called Agnes Ozman, that's Ozman, reportedly started to speak and write in Chinese. A couple of years later, Ms. Ozman, or Sister Agnes as she was called, tried to alert others to what I am sure she said God showed me was error. And she later wrote this in this journal called the Latter Rain Evangel. She wrote that tongues was not the only evidence of the Spirit's baptism. She added that after my baptism, I got into spiritual darkness because I did as I see so many others are doing these days, rested, reveled in tongues and other demonstrations instead of resting alone in God, she wrote. Now, Agnes' pastor at Bethel Bible College was the founder, Charles Parham, as you see there on the left. He was a former Methodist preacher. The Reverend, as he was known, was an ardent follower of another Methodist holiness movement group introduced by John Wesley in the 1800s, as I told you before. Parham had to close his church college after only 2 years and started traveling the country preaching what he termed Holy Spirit baptism. Now, after the death of the popular Scottish evangelist John Dowie, who was another self-proclaimed prophet, Parham tried to take over his Christian Catholic Apostolic Church in a place called Zion City, Illinois. According to this article in the Topeka Daily Herald, Parham claimed that God appeared to him in a dream 2 weeks ago and told him that Voliva, the new leader of the Catholic Apostolic Church in Zion City, was a false prophet and would lead the people of Zion into ruin. 10 days ago, Parham says that the Spirit again appeared to him at Topeka and commanded him at once to go to Zion and combat the evil influences of Voliva, says the newspaper. By the way, we should thank this guy, Wilbur Voliva, who was a radical Christian fundamentalist, for reigniting the current flat earth craze that's spreading right now. As you can see below him, this was a sign that would welcome you into Zion City. And it says, "No one except a low-down scoundrel, a person lower than the dirtiest dog, yes, lower down than a skunk, would call the earth a globe in Zion City."